Welcome back. Today we'll be taking a look at Nevada State Historical Markers numbers 171 through 175. Let's start off in the town of Pahrump down in Nye County. Located next to the Pahrump Community Library is the Chief Tecopa Cemetery. Situated in the northeast corner of the cemetery is our first marker in this series. So let's take a look at marker number 171, Chief Tecopa, Peacemaker of the Paiutes. Chief Tecopa, Peacemaker of the Paiutes. Chief Tecopa was a young man when the first European Americans came to southern Nevada. As a leader among the southern Paiutes, he fought with vigor to save their land and maintain a traditional way of life. He soon realized if his people were to survive and prosper, he would have to establish peace and live in harmony with the foreigners. During his life, which spanned almost the entire 19th century, his time and energy were devoted to the betterment of his people, until his death here in Pahrump Valley. Chief Tecopa is honored for the peaceful relations he maintained between the southern Paiutes and the settlers who came to live among them. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 171. Now, let's turn around and travel 226 miles north. Located on US 6 and a little over 9.5 miles east of Warm Springs Junction is Base Camp Airfield and the road to Tybo. Located on the eastbound shoulder across the road to the ghost town is our next marker, marker number 172, Tybo. Tybo, Silver-Lead-Zinc Camp. 8 miles northwest of this point lies what was formerly one of the leading lead-producing districts in the nation. Producing erratically from ore discoveries in 1866 to the present, the last mill closed in 1937, Tybo managed to achieve an overall credible record. Tybo, in its infancy, was known as a peaceful camp, but later strife between Irish, Cornish, and Central Europeans changed its reputation. Later these groups band together to drive away a company of Chinese woodcutters. The town was not unique in having 3 residential sections, each with its ethnic group. However, all children went to the same brick school. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 172. Turning around again, we need to drive 152 miles south to Beatty. Located near the intersection of US 95 and Amargosa Street is a small dirt lot in our next marker, marker number 173, Beatty. Beatty. Beatty was the center of 3 short-lived so-called gold railroads that were spawned by early 1900s strikes in Tonopah, Goldfield, and Rhyolite. The town was referred to as the Chicago of the West. Between 1906 and 1907, railroad companies constructed the Las Vegas and Tonopah from the Las Vegas through Beatty and Rhyolite to Goldfield, the Bullfrog Goldfield Railroad from Goldfield to Beatty, and Rhyolite and the Tonopah and the Tidewater from Ludlow, California to Tonopah. The last of these used the Bullfrog Goldfield tracks to Beatty and Rhyolite until 1914. The rails were torn up at Beatty beginning July 18, 1942. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 173. Now, let's travel north for a little over 98 miles. Located on State Route 265 and about 2¼ miles north of Silver Peak on the southbound shoulder is our next marker, marker number 174, Blair. Blair. The Pittsburgh Silver Peak Gold Mining Company bought the major mines in the area in 1906. Land speculators at nearby Silver Peak bought up the land. As a result, the mining company surveyed a new town site north of Silver Peak and named it Blair. The company built a 100-stamp mill in 1907. The company also constructed the 17.5-mile Silver Peak Railroad from Blair Junction to the Tonopah and Goldfield main line. By 1920, Blair was all but deserted. The remnants of stone buildings and mill foundations are the only survivors of a once thriving but short-lived mining town. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 174. So now, let's head up to Carson City. Located at 108 North Minnesota Street is the Stewart-Nye Residence, and our next marker. To clear up a little confusion, our marker is actually located on West King Street. So let's take a look at our next marker, marker number 175, Stewart-Nye Residence. Stewart-Nye Residence. This house was built about 1860 of local sandstone for William Morris Stewart, who lived here until 1862. He sold it to the territorial governor of Nevada, James W. Nye. The 2 men were elected as Nevada's first United States senators after the territory achieved statehood in 1864. Stewart served from 1864 to 1875 and again from 1887 to 1905. Nye served from 1864 to 1873. Both men were originally from New York. The house later became the home of Nevada Supreme Court Chief Justice George F. Talbot. In 1917, he sold the house and block to the Catholic diocese, and it served as the rectory for the Catholic Church. It was subsequently sold for commercial use. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 175.